Goeiedag, mijn naam is Evan, ik ben immigratieprocureur here in America, and ik wil je help om immigratiewet te verstaan. Now first, if you haven't already, please remember to like, subscribe, share the video, and if you're not a channel member, consider becoming a channel member as it helps me continue to do what I do here on this channel to help promote and make awareness here in the United States of the plight of Afrikaners and other ethnic minorities in South Africa, and also to help answer your refugee questions for Afrikaners going through the refugee program and Afrikaners here in the United States who are attempting to go the asylum route. So it's a big support to this channel, so if you're considering doing that, thank you so much. Now, first and foremost, I was again on Malema Jail Watch 2025, sat through most of the hearing when I woke up this morning, and just before I passed out and got a nosebleed, I had to walk away to go teach class. And I was then told by some of my viewers that we won't even know of sentencing till tomorrow. And again, this could even drag out even longer. And it just made me question the entire South African legal system and justice system and courts. I don't understand. Again, this is merely just bloviating and critiquing why the judge or the magistrate has to read through everything that went on during the trial. In the United States, that's on the record. That's the reason why we keep a record. The judge doesn't have to go through everything at the end. The judge can make their sentencing based on the record. But, when it comes to someone like Malema, as many of you have commented, this judge might just be making sure to dot all of her I's and cross all of her T's to make sure that when this is appealed, which of course it will be if he's found guilty, or if he's sentenced, found guilty and sentenced, that she doesn't make any mistakes and that won't carry on to the appellate level. But I am very upset that we still have heard nothing. Again, I don't put high hopes in seeing Malema get any punishment from this, if anything at all. But we can cross our fingers and be hopeful, and at least watching him sit there miserable for 2 consecutive days is at least somewhat gratifying. Now, on to some refugee questions that I've got while we wait for Malema Jail Watch 2025. And I wanted to just talk about a few things here. The first is, many of you are anxious and are saying, I haven't been contacted, this isn't fair, other people have been contacted, what do I do? And I've said it many times, and again, just reiterating in videos, I don't mind doing it. There are many new viewers. For those of you who've seen the videos in the past, you know the answers to these questions. Unfortunately, you have to be patient and wait. There's nothing you can do. There is no rhyme or reason that any of us are aware of who are not in the U.S. government or in CWS or in any of the initial screening groups. Forgive me. And we don't know anything other than what's public knowledge. So I cannot tell you why some people are being called faster than others, whatever the situation may be. There's nothing you can do but wait. But one thing I strongly advise against you doing, Colonel Wise talked about this before as well, is do not put in more statements of interest or applications. All that's going to do is clog up the system and possibly not only delay your application, but delay other people as well. If you submitted your application, it's in, it's there, be patient, give it time, okay? There's nothing beneficial that's going to come from adding another application to the mix. And remember, we talked about this a couple of months ago, all refugee programs have yearly limits to the amount of refugees the United States is going to take. So there are thousands, from what we know, anecdotally and just from what we can see, with our own 2 eyes, that there are thousands of applicants right now. Possibly tens of thousands of applicants. They have to go through all of them. And it will take some time. And I would not worry. My opinion, which means absolutely nothing because I'm just a man with a webcam on YouTube, my opinion is that the refugee program will continue through the duration of the Trump administration at least. So that's 3 more years. That's plenty of time for you to be able to get your application in, to be called and screened, and to be granted relief and come here as a refugee. Okay? Now, I understand that you are still in the country of your persecution. The Afrikaner refugee program is very unique in that it is one of only a few refugees are still located in the country where they're being persecuted. That's why, again, I'll bring up Colonel White again, has talked about operational security. That's why I have, again, put out an interest or a comment asking if anyone would like to share their stories and interviews, and I 100% understand why very few people want to do this. Because it puts you at risk. You're still inside Africa. But if you happen to come here as a refugee, and if you are secure that your family would not be put in danger, and you'd like to tell your story about past persecution, I'd be happy to document it, just like the Holocaust Project did with Holocaust survivors. Because I think it's something the world needs to know. But, again, understanding that operational security, taking care of yourself and your family comes first. Those of you who email me, everything stays 100% confidential. I don't say anything on here unless you tell me to. So, but all of that being said, this program will go on for the next 3 years at least, depending on the next administration, possibly longer. But you may have to wait still in your country of persecution. And I don't have any answers for you about what to do in that situation or what to do while you wait. Forgive me. Still dealing with the remnants of long COVID, I guess. But putting in more statements of interest is only going to make the process longer, gum it up, and possibly not only affect you, but other people as well. So that kind of leads into that second question that I keep getting asked. Well, when is my turn? I don't know. I don't know. But again, as I've told you many, many, many times, you must always be constantly thinking of a what if, what's the plan B? And again, I don't have an answer for you, but here in the United States, as I've said myself, talking to my congressman, which I have reached out to and done, and being an advocate here on YouTube and in the world for Afrikaners and for Afrikaner protection inside Africa by the United States government, that's what I'm trying to do to help with the plan B, is at least get the United States to understand that not everyone is going to be able to come here as a refugee, and what happens to those who choose to stay behind, because it is your country too. It is your homeland. It is where your cultuur and geschiedenis is. It's where you belong if you want to remain. And the United States should protect the Afrikaner people there and other ethnic minorities who are in the crosshairs of Malema and his racist, communist, socialist ilk as well. But do be aware that a plan B might be necessary. So I don't have an answer for why you have to wait or how long you have to wait. You just have to wait. Look at asylum seekers, guys, who are at least they're here and they're safe while they're going through the process. But some asylum applicants have been 9-10 years waiting on interviews. So, it's a terrifying process. It's a long process. All of these programs they're logistically very heavy, and there's a lot that has to go on, a lot of vetting, background checks, medicals, interviews, all of that. But it's what you have to do, and you have to ask yourself, what is my end goal? What am I looking to do here? If it's to come to the United States, then I've got to just be patient and go through it. So don't submit any more statement of interest. Be patient and wait. I can't give you a rhyme or reason for who's getting called first, but your time will come. Stay safe. Be hopeful. Let's do what we can. I'll do what I can on this end, which again isn't much, but I try my best to do what I can for Afrikaners inside Africa, and we'll go from there. So again, stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll pick up with Malema Jail Watch 2025. I'm going to be posting more videos. Again, I thank you all a lot for my South African viewers who are keeping the algorithm going. I have checked the data. These videos are reaching Americans too, which is great. And I want them to be able to see what's going on in South Africa with Afrikaners and other ethnic minorities, to understand that being pro-Afrikaner is not to be a white supremacist or a racist. There is a culture and a history and a people that is within the crosshairs of a major political party that is daily calling for their genocide and extermination. This hatred towards Afrikaners and other minorities in South Africa has caused targeted racial murders, other horrible crimes that I can't say on YouTube without it getting demonetized or kicked off. But these horrible things are happening because of race in South Africa, and wanting to help to preserve and protect this culture, this ethnicity, like any other on planet Earth, is a just and reasonable thing to do. And the United States needs to support Afrikaners in South Africa the same way that we support Israel and the Israeli government in order to help protect a people that is on the verge of a genocide and an extinction level event for a culture and a history and a community. So thank you as always. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and I will see you for the next video.